and welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Phi and Golf, of course. Now, moving on to another interesting news. There has been a picture of a man. Looks like he was doing replicate the murder scene that the police normally do when they arrested the hitman or anyone who has been
committed a crime.
Exactly. Now they say that this particular case belongs to Kun Manat Kwankan. He is a hitman who is actually hired by Kun Pumin Jira Wuttikun. Now Kun Pumin Jira Wuttikun is a local politician in Pathum Thani province. Now he is still on the run at this point. However, Kun Manat has been arrested due to the fact that he shot dead Kun Somsak Panya Likit, who is the owner of a garage in Pathum Thani province. Now this particular case happened is quite in a broad daylight in the Rom Mai Rim Thang restaurant. So there's in front of a crowd really, and they say that this particular arrest actually took place in Kanchanaburi province as he went into hiding, but the police finally were able to arrested him. Now Kun Manat, the hitman, has given the police all this information in terms of being hired for 50,000 baht to kill this particular person, in order to eliminate all the 5 million baht debt that Kun Pumin owes Kun Somsak. Now, of course, Kun Somsak, after he shot dead, a lot of people were actually quite angry due to the fact that his garage was quite well known in the area. And they say that Kun Manat also said that after he killed Kun Somsak, what happened is Kun Pumin already has another plan. He hired another person to kill Kun Manat in order to...
So that's double murder.
Exactly.
So complicated.
But then I was like, who's going to kill the hitman who killed the hitman? Because obviously, it's still the same thing. So we're not sure what's going on because obviously Kun Pumin is still on the run here. Now, they say that at this point, during the time when they're trying to replicate the situation that happened and how he did it, a lot of people, about over 30 of the crowd, people in the crowd, were trying to, have a little piece of Kun Manat there because they were quite angry. So the police have to be there. And they say that it took about 30 minutes before they would finish this particular replication or imitation of the incident. So it's quite one of those crazy story because, well, I did not realize that there's still like a hitman all readily available for you to hire them. Exactly. But of course, we're not in that business, so that's why. Maybe if you look hard enough, you might find one.
But seriously, double murder is not the way that you can escape from the crimes that you've been masterminding.
So I'm not sure why he would trust another hitman.
So that police cannot track them down.
Well, not
because the two of them did not have any arguments or conflicts before. So who knows?
Interesting, but still, like you can see that it is a murder case. It's probably business related. So at this point, Kun Pumin is still on the run, and like I said, he's a local politician in Pathum Thani province, so he's going to have to come back in sometimes.
Okay, so moving on to another provinces, we've got more developments in the case of Saha Farm. If you remember, it's a group which commands around 20% of Thailand's poultry industry, and they might be facing some liquidity crunch, so they failed to pay salaries to their workers, and most of them are migrant workers working in Thailand. The company cites the reason that they face some problems resulting from the 300 baht minimum wages from the government's program. So there might be some, like I said, liquidity crunch. But this time, the Labor Ministry has already taken control of the case. The Director of Labor Welfare and Protection, Kun Atit Itzamo, has already talked to the company and negotiations have been settled. the company was told to prepare 34 million baht to pay for the alien workers there, which are 9,200 workers, 5,400 in Lopburi province and 3,800 in Phetchabun province. They will be paid in 2 rounds, July the 15th and July the 31st. And this time the Labor Ministry will provide help for them. They will prepare 3 meals per day and free shelter, free accommodation, and also help them find new job.
The thing is, it's very interesting because there has just been fire broke out in this particular Saha Farm factories in Lopburi province. Now, at the time, they talked about probably electrical short circuit, but weeks before, there has been a protest as well of the alien workers trying to get their wages as well as try to be rehired. Now, at this point, I think we did not realize the extent of a problem Sahafarm was in until the whole labor, the alien workers coming out, as well as the fire that broke out. So it seemed hopefully they're doing okay because they're big company, right? So I'm sure that hopefully it's all sorted out. Now another interesting news, of course, and has been on the news for a while, is the situation of the fire that broke out at police station, in Sainoi police station in Nonthaburi province. Now, I have reported to you about that particular case. However, it seems that the police are taking it very, very seriously because obviously the family has received some kind of compensation as well as a little money to show respect and how sorry the police force is about this whole situation. Is very unfortunate. 4 of the inmates that were actually in the cell at the time who weren't able to escape in time were killed in the fire. Now, of course, in this particular case, the police trying to do a little bit more. At this point, there has been a report of the police chief, Police General Adun Sang Singkeo, talking to the rest of the police force about the situation date back on the 7th of obviously this month. Now, the police chief said that at this point there should be the speculation as well as the assessment of all police stations in the country, making sure that there are safety measures in place. Now, obviously, we know that it should have been done beforehand because this is not something that you should do afterward. But as it's already happened, I think it's better to be now than never. Now, they say that at this point, the police are also working in terms of trying to inspect all the police stations and making sure that their budget available for all the police stations to revamp in case they needed to. Now, they're in Khon Kaen province in particular, they say that there has been a meeting over how to develop a safety measures as well as preventative measures for 27 of the police stations in Khon Kaen province to make sure that this doesn't happen again, this incident is not repeated, as well as making sure that all the electrical wires, so on and so forth, will be checked. And the officer who would be in the shift at the time, at all time really, needs to be equipped with the knowledge of how to prevent the fire or stop the fire, as well as all the fire extinguishers should be there as well. We're not sure. I think one of the problem is at the police station at the time, fire extinguishers probably wasn't available. Either that or the person or the officials at the time weren't able to operate it properly. Now they say that the police force are vow to make sure that this incident will not repeat itself because it's quite tragic and a lot of citizens are not very happy with this particular incident. It should have been preventable. Right.
So wrapping up this section here with the developments that you might be waiting to hear.
Yes, because
The
I have
Naengkan
seen
saga.
pictures. I can't wait.
Oh, seriously, if you look at the front pages, you will see a picture of a room of a house with elegant, luxurious
let's just
furniture.
say that my house could not afford it. You know,
it's a house of the parents of Nen Kam or Lung Pu Nen Kam, the Scandalous monk in Ubon Ratchathani province. Yesterday, the DSI was already taking control of the cases, the money laundering cases, and also another string of allegations against this particular monk. Yesterday, the DSI has already issued a search warrant and raided this house in Ubon Ratchathani province. Is his parents, and found a lot of luxurious furnitures, and also it's like a bank vault.
Wow, look at that.
See?
Yeah, that is crazy house. And the thing is, his brother, Luang Pu Den Kam's brother, came out and said that we're not rich people.
They're just normal people working from day to night.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I work like that too. I don't have that.
We work just to dawn.
I know, exactly. We even worse, and we could not accumulate that much wealth. It doesn't make sense that the monk would have that much money.
Right. So the Kun Tharit Pengdit, the Director General of the DSI, said his department will look into a list of allegations against this monk in connection with illegal drugs, car tax evasion, and also numerous sex scandals, because there are a lot of accusations of women alleging that he had sex with her. And And with the particular woman who came out just recently with her child, age 11 years old, the Office of Buddhism said that we'll have to check whether this child have a connection with Nen Kam, so they have to prove with the DNA samples. But if Nen Kam would not come back to Thailand.
Yeah, that's the thing. He seems to like France a lot. I thought Interpol could do something. I mean, we could work with it.
Not yet. Until the Thai police issued a contract or something. So they would have to take the DNA sample from Nen Kam's parent to check with the child instead.
Wow.
It would be 90% efficiency, 99%, excuse me, so it's not that bad. If Nen Kam failed to come back to prove his innocence, and they can prove that this child is his child, he will be stripped of monkhood. And it will be retroactively since the time that he had sex with this woman, which is 11 years ago.
Right. But the thing is, though, like with all the wealth, I think there's more investigation because now the anti-money laundering office actually get involved as well.
The NACC, the AMLO,
the list go on and on. And, DSI as well, because they're suspecting maybe there's like the whole, because he has a garage too. That's the thing. So,
and a lot of luxurious cars as well that might be escaping tax plan.
I'm so tempted to just call him this man, but obviously, since he still have a rope on his shoulder, we would just call him this particular monk. I think that once he come back, he's gonna have to face a lot of charges, and most definitely, I think he's gonna have to serve time in jail.
Right, and a lot of allegations are waiting for you, so just come back to prove your innocence. And DSI has issued a major 8 allegations against him, probably involving his drug, as I said, and also he's accused of killing a man running over with his Mini Cooper.
He has a Mini Cooper? Nice.
They had 2 Mini Coopers in the Khanti Tham Monastery in Sisaket province.
For what?
They used them to go shopping in the market.
You use
and
bicycle to do that?
Another one to drive around in the monastery compound.
Because it's so big. That is.
Right, so they're trying to revoke his passport as well. And if you...
Yes, please do that.
I'm not sure if you talked about this yesterday, about the former pilot that gave
Yes,
more
yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
That's very interesting as well.
And of course, the whole incident about the replica of the
Emerald Buddha
is still ongoing as well, because obviously it's almost finished. And the gold's already there, the 8 tons of gold that was supposed to be used. So yeah, who knows? I think we're probably gonna be talking about him all the way until his arrest.
And the Buddhism office has set a deadline for him to come back, July the 12th, which
kept
is
pushing.
2 days ago.
Yeah, it kept pushing the date, so it doesn't really matter. Let's just wait until he's here and then we'll talk about it. Now,
Okay, let's go for a break, I think. And in the next break, we've got a lot more interesting incidents that happened in political sphere.
yes, so please stay tuned.